I'm here on the job site with Dale, who's a framing contractor.
Hey, good morning.
Dale traded up to Geico Commercial Auto Insurance for all his business vehicles. We're here where he needs us most.
Yep, they sure are.
We make it easy for him to save on all his insurance needs, all in one place, with coverage that fits his business and bottom line. Oh, I shouldn't have looked down.
It's all right.
We're so far up here.
Look at me. Take a deep breath.
Oh, I'm good. So good.
Get a commercial auto insurance quote today at geico.com and see how much you could save. Get more with Geico.
Hey there, here's a quick note before we begin. You can support the podcast by downloading, sharing, or checking with my favorite hiking gear at justhyke.com. Let's hit the trail. Welcome back to part 2 of my conversation with Kim. If you haven't heard part 1 yet, go back and listen to that first. You don't want to miss the start of her story. Today, we're diving into the Triple Crown and the PCT and the John Muir Trail. It's a gorgeous section you're not going to want to miss.
But I think at the age, you value, like someone said, are you going to do a Triple Crown? Are you going to do, so you did the AT, are you going to do the PCT and the Continental Divide? And I'm like, no, that's a year total out of my life. I don't know.
You don't have to do it back to back.
Exactly. But it's another 5 month each commitment if you do it well. And if you break it up into sections, then it's going to be 6 to 7 months because of the effort of getting on and off. And I've done my favorite parts. Because that's the thing about through hike.
Yeah.
You have to hike through a lot of yucky stuff. Like the PCT, I commend people doing it, but there are so many burn areas that are just not pretty. And so I don't have that drive and that reason to do another 2,000 plus mile hike. Even if I did it in sections, I would rather do the John Muir Trail, which is part of the PCT. I'd rather do that 5 times because it's gorgeous.
Because it's a beautiful section.
Than to walk purposefully for a month in a burn scar. These people, they're black. They have soot all the way up to their shorts.
And just imagine their lungs.
Exactly. So again, the youngins, if they want to do it, hats off to them. If someone has something to prove, that's great. But for me, that is not calling me. And I always tell people, as soon as I tell you that, and then you see me on the Pacific Crest Trail next year, it wasn't that I lied. Something shifted.
Something shifted and something called you to do it.
But for the most part, I'm like, no. A friend really messed me up recently when we went to and we swam with whale sharks.
Oh, tell me about
We
that.
swam in a cenote. And
yeah.
I'm like, okay, why am I hiking in an area that's not pleasant? And I'm not talking about hiking in these beautiful, gorgeous, lovely areas or places that challenge you or whatever. I'm talking about just not pretty. Why would I hike there when I could be sitting in a hammock in Mexico? So again, I'm going through a shift, but it was beautiful. We went to Obosh. It's Cancun. It's above Cancun on an island, and they have bioluminescence and whale sharks.
Oh, nice.
The whale sharks go by there, and so you can swim. Do you know
I'm trying to think. Is that Isle de Mar? What is that called?
It's actually Holbox.
Oh, okay.
Do you know Isla Mujeres?
Yes, I've been there.
West of it.
Okay.
And it's longer, but less, it's not built up like Isla Mujeres.
Gotcha.
It's amazing. There's
Sounds
a very good
lovely.
chance to do all my trips that I have coming up when I work my way. I think I'm going to go to Patagonia after Antarctica, maybe, and then go work my way up to Galapagos, maybe. I haven't booked any of this. Once I get to Galapagos, I might just go to Mexico and go to that island and just stay for a week or two and do nothing. Because I will have gone from a cruise to Australia, New Zealand, Antarctica, Patagonia, Galapagos. So to me, that'll be like 3 months. It might be nice just to sit in that
Sit on
hammock.
a beach and relax.
Right.
Absolutely. So
Okay.
now,
Yeah.
So whenever I talk to people who travel a lot the way that
Yes.
you do, I something that comes into my mind, and you can tell me if it's none of my business, and
Oh,
that's
yeah.
fine. How do you fund what
Oh,
you do? Are you a travel blogger? Do you make money by doing TikToks? What's the deal?
yeah, no, that's a very valid question. I actually try to be an advocate for what I've done that worked. So I actually, just to back up a little bit, so I'm not working. Okay. What I did, I lost everything in 2013.
I'm
Marriage,
sorry to hear that.
thank
Yeah.
you. Marriage, I had my kids, so that was great. But marriage, and we went through a full bankruptcy, and they were unrelated. Okay. They just happened to happen at the same time. But we had a hotel, it went under, and it really was out of our control. We got snookered. But long story short, is I started at somewhat zero. What I mean by that is, yeah, they took everything. Like I had $600 to my name. They let you keep a car. We signed personally for a business loan. And so they were able to go after everything. It was one of those 10-year bankruptcies. So total reset. But I told this to my daughter one time. I said, but out of fairness, yeah, I lost everything, but I had my education and I had a reputation. So I was able to go back into the workforce where some people wouldn't be able to do. It's not like I came right out of high school. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So I was able to get a real job, get real work, and work my tail off. I wasn't, because I was under bankruptcy for 10 years. So till 2023, I was not allowed to, my credit cards were horrible. They were like high interest and low balance and just ridiculous because my credit score was trash until 2023. Okay. So if I bought a place like a house, which I wanted to do, I had to pay cash.
Right.
Couldn't get a loan. And I had to be super creative, borrow against my 401k. And I sold a lot of my coins and jewelry. And I liquidated so I could have money to buy a house when the kids were in high school. Yeah, in high school. Okay. So I bought this house. I rent it out now. I was able to, when things started getting a little bit better for me financially, because I wasn't paying rent, I owned a house. So I went from having to pay rent during the bankruptcy part of it,
Right. Yeah.
now I own a house, and I'm not paying rent because I paid cash for it. So my money started growing. So I bought another place. So I have 3 places. They're not huge. They're half of a duplex, small, but I rent all 3 of them out. That money is the money that I'm using from as my income, so that, and they have to self manage themselves. In other words, I don't have a rental manager or whatever. When I rent to them, I give them a good rate and I'm like, just fix it. If something goes wrong, fix it. And I have the best renters. So
That's awesome.
yes, because I know it's a nightmare for some people, but it's been fantastic for me. It's not perfect, but it's been fantastic. But my deal that I set for my van life in 2021, I went off in my van and I told myself to have fun the first year, do van life for 1 year. I paid cash for my van. It was $38,000. Great van. It was used, but already decked out. But I gave myself 1 year in my van. And if I spent more than I brought in from my rentals, the gig was over. But I was going to allow myself to be an astronaut for a day. And I had all these weird things I wanted to do. But if I was in the green, I could reassess. So that's what I did. And that's when I found out I could travel internationally, and internationally costs less than driving all over the US in a van, especially at that time. Because I paid like up to, in 21, 22. In 22, I paid $8 a gallon for gas in California.
Right. Yep. Yeah.
So
Gas is
very
expensive.
It was very expensive. And my van gets good gas mileage. So I had to find the flow. But I found that when I do these long hikes, like the Arizona Trail, my average is about $20 a day. That's my cost of living. I already
Right.
have all the gear.
You have the gear. The van is parked. You're not driving the van.
And I usually park it at a friend's house. They usually
Right.
get me to the trail. I'm very creative on getting to a trail. And so then when I do a Camino, it's like 20 to 25 US dollars a day in Spain. When I do a cruise, I try to get good deals, but as a solo traveler, sometimes you pay more for your thing. Like you can do the math. I was on a 2-week transatlantic cruise from Barcelona to Florida. and it was $600.
Nice. Yeah. And that's all your food included.
Food, working out,
Yeah.
dancing, music, fun. This one, I didn't know this was gonna be part of it. I got to do art 2 times a day. They had an art thing. Who knew? So I painted canvases and I gave them all away, but I painted 2 times a day. I'm in paradise, right? So here's the kicker. That's the thing where I got to bump from the flight. They gave me a $2,000 credit. My flight out there, I should mention, so 600 there. My flight was 600. So $1,200, and I was given a $2,000 voucher.
Wow. Nice.
So do the math. That was net
Yeah.
positive. But
Yes.
and I don't buy excursions. I don't. I like to when I don't like excursions. It's just me. So I like to get off the ship and hike, walk, maybe take a taxi if I have to, but basically just authentically see that port town as opposed to going through a tour.
Yes.
So I'm very frugal is what we're getting at.
That's
I don't buy
awesome.
food on a cruise. I don't. And then I tell you $600, but I forgot to tell you, then I also get a $200 credit. So really it was $400. So $200 could be applied to if I wanted to buy a photo, or I don't even know where you spend money. I don't drink, so it helps. Because
Oh, yeah. It was a big deal. For some people, they feel like they have to drink, especially if it's on a cruise or something. But yeah, I've actually lost weight on cruises. You can't.
This cruise.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you understand. Oh, I love you. And yeah. So that's where I am. So I hope that gives a little snippet of, because it's not so much the money I bring in, it's what do I do with my money? In other words, I don't drink Starbucks. I don't drink coffee. I don't carry a stove when I hike.
Do you cold soak everything?
I cold soak or I just eat
Like bars or wraps or something?
Yeah, I try to do what I call whole food. So I always start with a cucumber. My food has evolved, not necessarily for the good. I'm getting a little bit lazier. So I never ate mashed potatoes, where you add the water to it.
Uh-huh.
Introduced me to that last year. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this. I pour cold water in this thing and I've got potatoes and they're yummy. So I'm not as healthy as I used to be, but I'm choosing. That's my choice.
I'm
So-
sure you find a vegetable once in a while.
Oh, I do cucumbers. I always
Yeah.
take a cucumber with me. If I have the opportunity, I'll cut up things like bell peppers. I don't like to have any extra food items with me. I cut the cucumber ends off. So I try to do that off the trail so that everything I have with me is consumable. Carry a lot of trash at the end.
Yeah.
So cucumbers and zucchini are probably, and then I do a lot of freeze dried, but this is fruit. So mangoes, I think are wonderful. Coconut. I do a prune a day. I have ginger chews. My food is pretty simple. Depending
Nice.
on the hike
Yeah.
and depending on what the hike is.
Yeah.
And every now and then a company will send me food because I do TikToks. And so I don't typically make that much money on TikTok. I've probably made total $2,000, which is good if you equate it to food or gas or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
But I don't do TikTok for money. I really try to teach on it. But every now and then someone will send me something for free. And someone sent me these beef sticks and oh my gosh, they were so good. They were just delightful. And then somebody just recently sent me some prepackaged, dehydrated, or actually freeze-dried food. And so you bet I took it on my recent hikes and I'm like, oh my gosh, but I cold soaked it. And I told them, I said, I'm not going to cook it. I said, it's going to be a cold soak. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, okay. I get a few free things and that's fun, but I don't like the commitment of having to promote. So I typically say no. If someone wants to send me something, I'm like, I'm not your person. I'm not trying to make money off of TikTok.
So what is your TikTok handle? Is it your
It's
your
actually
trail
Mu-
name? Is it
MUON and in 2020, because that's when I did it.
MUON 2020?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
And they're really soon. If someone wants to know about Havasupai, do you know Havasupai?
I know where it is. Yeah. I actually had I had permits
Yeah.
right when COVID happened.
Oh,
Yeah. So I ended up reselling them and it was really easy to resell. Highly recommend if you get on there and if you're lucky enough to get tickets, just put them on the resale and then someone will pick them up right away. And if you're looking for tickets, go to the resale page.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I always tell people because they always say, I can't get a ticket. I'm like, yeah, you can.
Yeah, you
You-
can.
There,
For the
right,
resale.
any given day, there's at least 20 different days available on any given day.
I agree.
So I love Havasupai. I hope you get to go there sometime because
Yeah.
it's a beautiful
Have you
place.
been more than once?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go again. I don't know when, but it'll happen. It could happen next week. I don't know.
I love that.
Because you can just drive down there. I'm in Colorado right now, and
Yeah.
so Arizona's not that far. Right now, I'm trying to get, since I'm going to be gone for 3.5 to 4 months, somewhere around there, and it's all out of the country. I'm trying to tie up loose ends.
Sure.
Just little things. Like when you're driving in a van, but you don't go and you ever see your mail, and they, for whatever reason, you go through a toll and they don't catch it, like either something's off, then they send you a 50-cent toll that ends up being $50 because you haven't been home, you haven't gotten your mail for these are the weird things, but
These things happen. Yeah.
things happen. And that's the different, most everything's electronic. I could not do what I'm doing right now. Like I have the ability to punch in my phone and it tells me and it reroutes me if there's an accident and it tells me if a highway's closed. And like it is what we have on our little phone allows me to do the spontaneous stuff that I do. I couldn't have done this 20 years ago. I'm sorry. It could not be this spontaneous 20 years ago. Now I go on to booking.com an hour before I need a place and I go, okay, what's available? Oh my gosh, I can save this place for $20 a night. Sold, pick it, go. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
the
Yes.
world has, and I stay in hostels more so when I'm overseas, but I've started doing some hostels locally. And it's funny because you don't think of them in the US, but they're there. And if you just
They
need a-
are. They're in the
Yes.
US and they're in
Yes.
Canada. How do you like the hostels?
I am fine with them. I would prefer my van. My van is everything's there. It's comfortable. It's quiet. Some hostels, you can go and have a private room. And then some hostels, you're with bunks with everyone
You're in
around.
bunk beds. Yeah.
Sometimes it's co-ed, sometimes it's not co-ed. So they're all different. But anytime I can spend $20 for sleep and a shower and laundry, yes. Like to me, that's a very cost-effective way to get the most bang for my buck.
Absolutely. And I think it makes your lifestyle more doable.
Absolutely.
Keeping
Yes.
things frugal, whether you're in the tent or in the van or in a hostel.
Yes. So my clothing, if you look at my photos, you will see, I don't know if anyone's ever said anything to me about it, but I have the same clothes for the last 5, some clothes are longer, but since I've been sharing publicly, I wear the same dress. I wear the same pants. I wear the same shirt. I do have shoes. I spend a lot of money on shoes because I go through about 5 pairs-ish a year. So 5 pairs a year. However,
And that makes sense.
it
That
does.
makes
You do the
sense.
math.
Yeah.
I always buy them used. And people
Oh,
go,
do you?
I go to REI to their little garage sale.
Oh, yeah.
People buy shoes and they wear them one time. And for whatever
Yeah.
reason, too big, too little, whatever, they can't return them for full value. I guess they get full value, but the store can't sell them as new. So they're still expensive, but instead of $150, I might get them for $60 to $75.
That's a big difference.
And so for me, if you're buying them that much, and I have a hard time, like when they start falling apart and they have holes and they have no sole, I'm like, oh, I could save it for when I go rafting, or I could save it, have a soup pie or whatever. And eventually I just have to let them go because you can only put
Like,
so many
where are you
shoes in.
where are you going to store them?
Exactly. So that is a hard thing for me. Like one of the things that I like to do, and I'll do it on this trip, is when I go international, I'll go somewhere and they have hiker boxes. Like sometimes
Yes.
they call them different.
Yeah.
But my pair of shoes that I'm willing to get rid of are better than somebody else's shoe that they don't have. And so I will donate them to a hiker box if they're not completely trashed.
Sure.
If I've extended their life too long, then I won't do that. But I always try to feed the hiker box. Even when I'm not hiking, I'm just in my van, but I'm near the PCT. Either I'll pick up a hiker and give them a ride and say, hey, what do you need? Or that's how I get rid of some of my stuff, like water filters. They're expensive. The Sawyer.
Uh-huh.
When I do a big hike, like the Arizona Trail, I bought a brand new one. The other one's not bad. I just wanted to start off with a brand new one. That's just
With a
something
fresh one.
that's worth it to me. So I use my water filters a lot. So I donated it to the hiker box and someone was so happy. And I said, there's nothing wrong with it. I think it maybe has a month left. depending on if you use it every day.
Sure.
I don't want to have to get a new one in the middle of my hike. I want to start with a brand new one. And you have to manage your items.
Your items, yeah. So speaking of water filters, what is your go-to? You prefer the Sawyer?
I do
Um,
2 different ones.
You do 2 different
At
ones? What do you do?
At the same time sometimes, depending on
Okay.
what hike I'm doing. So the Sawyer is my go-to.
Okay.
It's really interesting because I was just on a hike with other people, and one guy had this pump like you would use if you go rafting, where you suck the water up, and it's really great if you're giving a whole bunch of people water. 'Cause
Okay.
it's fast. It's very
Yeah.
fast. I hike. I'm not in a hurry. So I've got time to sit there. It takes me to do a Sawyer. I do the normal squeeze, not the mini. And I have the smart water bottle. And it takes me anywhere to 3 to 5 minutes, depending on what's going on with the water and my filter. But I get a good 5 minute of squeezing and getting water to fill up and be done for whatever amount. But I also carry my what I call squishy. And it has different names, but it's the Katahdin.
Oh, yeah, the Bee Free?
Be free. That's what
Bee
people.
Free. Yep, I have one of
They-
those, and mine is really slow. But the one of the ladies I was hiking with in my recent group, hers was really fast, and so I was
have
really
always
jealous.
mine have always been fast, but I bought a
Okay.
new one recently because the other one was looking kind of funky. And so this one's grayish, but it's to be free. But they added a carbon filter. So there's
Oh,
two,
nice. Okay.
the normal thing that you have, and then another little one in the nozzle. Love it. So
Nice.
I scoop and go. So
Yeah.
you don't want to take your pack off. There's a stream. You scoop, lid. You keep walking. You've wasted no time whatsoever.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I carry both of them sometimes, depending on the kind of hike that I'm doing. When I did the Tour du Mont Blanc, which is in Europe, where you go around Mont Blanc,
Yep.
that's about 100 miles. And anyone who's interested in doing that, the Wonderland Trail to me is a really good practice hike before you go across the body.
Oh, nice.
I would
Okay.
recommend people now that I've done the Wonderland Trail. It's almost the same thing. It's 100 miles. You're going around a mountain. It's a little more epic to do 3 countries. But anyway, some of the weather was really hot. I took my little Be Free one, and it was glacial melt water. So it was freezing cold. And I
Sure.
would put it in my chest because it's soft, and it would just kind of hang out.
Yeah.
And it kept my core cold.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Unbelievable. That
Yeah.
was amazing. That was like okay, I can keep hiking because if it's too hot, I don't like to overheat. I will take a siesta. That's the main reason I take a nap, is to avoid the direct sun and the heat.
No,
If
that's
I'm
good
gonna-
advice. And I
Yeah,
like what you said about putting the Bee Free in between, like on top of your chest. I have some triathlon friends who
Yes.
actually have pouches that go in between their chest for exactly that reason, to help cool off the body.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it does. This is your core, right?
Yep.
So if you can
Yeah.
keep your head, and then when it talks about being warm, if you can keep your hands warm and your head warm, it's funny. There are certain extremities for
Yes.
staying
Yeah.
warm, and then for cooling off. Like I take my gloves off if I get too hot to
Cool
get-
off. Yep.
yes, to cool off. And I like to wear my hat, but I'll take my hat off to breathe.
To let the heat escape. Yep.
Yep. But sometimes you just have to stop moving. You just have
Yes.
to go under, find shade, take a siesta. Something
Well, you
happens.
don't
Yeah.
don't need heat exhaustion, and you don't need a
Don't.
heat stroke. Yeah. And
And
you
some-
don't need hypothermia either.
I think my body goes into a different mode when I actually take a 15-minute nap. I can't
Mhm.
describe it, but sitting by a stream for 15 minutes is not the same as taking a 15-minute nap. I actually go into dream mode. Like I hit REM. It freaks people out that I can do that so quickly. But when I wake up, I'm recharged because it is a nap. It's not a sleep. Sleep
Right.
is anything over 35, 40 minutes. If I go to a sleep mode, that's not good because I probably needed it, but I'm going to be very groggy and not alert. I have to take some time to get back on my feet. But
Yeah.
a 15-minute power nap, I'm ready.
That's
So-
awesome. I love that. It reminds me of, I like to do what is called a napitation. So it's like a 12-minute nap
Yes.
and a meditation at the same time. So you're not asleep, but you're meditating, napping, but
I
it's
love
just
that.
12 minutes. I set my timer. I just lay down, zone out, and then I'm ready to go again.
Yeah, I love that.
It
You
just helps your
recharge.
body recharge. So the 15-minute thing, we're right on.
It's a magical thing. And again,
is.
safety. That is another, for me, that's another safety thing.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause you want to be in your, I think this is the point. You want to be in your best form.
Yes.
Because if you've ever seen someone push their limits and they almost get frantic because they're not thinking clearly and they're
Uh-huh.
trying to carry too much or go too fast, or I don't know how to describe it, but their mind shifts into a different mode. And
It's
they're
like a
not-
mania. Think of it like a
Yes.
mania.
Yes, and they're not making good choices. So you know,
Yeah.
people go, I don't understand how that person could have gotten lost going to the restroom. I can. If you've ever
Yeah.
seen someone panic and every choice they make is wrong, not one thing is in their favor. They choose one thing after another of poor choices. So if you can prevent that from happening by eating right, drinking right, taking your rest, sleeping, the heat exhaustion, we didn't really talk about until just now. Someone said, there's never, what did they say? There's never bad weather. There's just bad clothing choices or something.
Yes. Uh-huh.
It's
That's
probably
exactly right.
Probably
Yep.
from
Or,
Jason.
or there's not any bad weather. There's just bad gear choices.
That's it.
Yeah.
So it comes down to that. For safety, being prepared for whatever the weather comes at you. But
right.
not eating everything, where they say everything except for the kitchen sink or whatever. You can't have, you can pack everything, but if you can't carry it, it doesn't do you any good. So
Right.
you have to make some choices on what you're going to take up.
Safety, like I have an emergency blanket or an emergency bivy. I have a net gaiter. I have
Yes.
two, one for my neck, and then
Okay.
one I can put on my head if I need
Okay.
it. I have a small pair of gloves if I need it, but depending on the weather, I might have thicker things. But for the most part, I'm pretty good with my basic pack.
Yep.
To handle.
And I think layers are
Oh,
always,
absolutely.
it's so fun to talk to you because my daughter just went off on her little adventure and it was fun to talk to her. She's, should I wear this? And I'm like, you know what?
Layers.
Because I have gone on a hike where then all of a sudden I'm in snow and I'm like, the Arizona Trail. My first day, I went from the Mexican border and 5-6 hours later, I'm in snow. And I'll be honest, I'm like, what just happened? And it wasn't that far of I was able to hike through the snow and go down and sleep not in snow. That blew my mind. And I guess the point is, I did not expect snow that first day. So you have to be prepared. I say I don't plan things. Well, because I don't plan things, then I need to make sure I have certain things with me for my lack of planning. In other words, my planning is, do I have the gaiter? Do I have the rain gear? I carry a cheap $1 poncho always.
Nice. Yeah.
$1.
Yeah.
It goes over you. It goes over your pack. Nothing gets into you. Yes, it's going to be ripped to shreds depending on your trail. You might only get to use it one time, but trust
That's
me,
okay.
that one time
It's $1.
it's
Yeah.
$1 and it doesn't weigh anything.
Nice.
So we all have our comfort item, the thing that I can do this. I can do this hike if I have this one thing.
Have
My-
you ever heard?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard the phrase "we pack our fears"?
No,
Yeah. Think
Yeah.
about that one.
I do. That's interesting. Yeah, because, and most likely it's something you got burned with or someone else who they didn't have something. So now they always have it because
Or they have 3 of them.
they have 3 of it. It's fine. Back up. For me,
Yes.
water is, I believe I can go a week without food easily. I don't want to, but I fasted before for a week. So I know I can go a week without food.
But water's a big deal.
Water, non-negotiable. Now,
Yeah.
I grew up on a farm. We drank out of the stock tank. We drank out of the cow trough.
Did you
Like-
really?
Oh, absolutely. In Texas, in Wheelock. So maybe if you haven't heard of Wheelock, maybe you've heard of Franklin.
Yes. Yep.
I went to Franklin Franklin
Okay.
when I was little. So I guess what I'm getting at is and I traveled a lot as a kid. So my tummy has all those things that you want to have to be able to drink anywhere.
Gotcha.
I truly believe I can drink anywhere. I still filter.
Good.
But
Yep.
if I don't have my filter fails, I don't have water, guess what? I'm still drinking water. Now,
Because your system your immunity has been built up and you can
I
handle it.
believe it can handle almost everything.
Yeah.
And I think as far as safety, I'm going to step on the water thing for just one more thing because I freaked some people out in Las Vegas. We go to Mount Charleston. I see the water coming out of the ground. That water, and there are no farms or anything. Like this water is clean. I carry a baggie with me, a little Ziploc baggie, and I put it under there. These are day hikes. I put it in the water stream and I drink from it. And everybody's freaking out. I'm like, we're on a 2-hour hike. I'm going back to my house. If I get sick, I've got all the medical attention in the world. I said, but my thinking is, in this case, because I do a lot of these long hikes, I would rather drink that water. And if there's anything in it, I would rather drink it for 2 years, slowly, never having a problem, so that if I am somewhere where I don't have that medical attention and I have to drink that water, I can make it 3 or 4 days without losing diarrhea, losing all my nutrients.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I've this is again another game in my head, but I try to, how is this being safe or is this being careless? If I have a controlled environment, then I'm going to behave differently than the Lone Star Trail. First day, my filter gets clogged up because of the silt. It's mad at me. I was getting water, but it was taking forever. Like the trail was going to take me 20 days by how long it was going to. So I chose to put a plea out there going, hey, can anyone send me a filter? I need a filter. And that's what.
Guaranteed, you don't want to be drinking that water out there without a
Well,
filter.
Because that is coming from fields and
It is.
there's industries and
Yeah.
I don't care what your body's used to. Chemicals are chemicals.
Exactly.
And so when he said I had those jugs of water placed, I'm like, okay, that's trail magic.
That is trail magic.
And he was just
Yeah.
about to go pick them up. And I'm like, I got you.
I got them.
I'll carry the empties. I got it. So it was one of those wonderful serendipitous kind of trail magic kind of moments where I ended up making a friend and now I'm talking to
Yeah.
you.
And now we met each other. I love that. So good. Let's move on just a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know what? I wanted to ask you, have you hiked Iceland?
Yes.
Did you do, I can't pronounce the name, the Langla whatever trail?
Okay. I can't pronounce any of the names,
Yes.
but let me explain how I hiked it. And they were all
Okay.
day hikes.
Oh, okay. Because we
Because-
did, so I was there,
Oh.
we did the National Geographic's most beautiful trail in the world. And
Okay.
it starts with an L and it ends with an AUR,
Yeah.
whatever it is. But
Yeah.
it was an amazing, beautiful hike.
How long?
Tell me, how long?
Roughly
It
days,
was- What's that?
days or miles, whichever.
I can't remember miles offhand. It was probably about 40-ish miles.
Okay. Okay.
And it was 4 nights, 5 days.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Now, did you go with a group?
We arranged our own group.
Nice.
And so the way it worked for us is we flew into Iceland. We took a shuttle bus over to the campground at Reykjavik.
Yep.
The next day we jumped on the shuttle that
Yep.
took us to the trailhead.
Yep.
And then we hiked and camped for 4 nights, 5 days on the trail, and then grabbed a shuttle bus and then took us back to the campground. It was great. So reasonably
It was
inexpensive.
gorgeous.
And
Yeah.
it was every 10 feet we stopped and our jaws dropped.
Yeah.
It was just so unbelievable.
Yes.
Tell me about
So-
your experience.
So it was this year.
Okay.
Trying to think when I went. Just recently, like 2 months ago, maybe. Yeah, 2 months ago. I flew to Dover, England.
Okay.
Got another free flight. Lovely. And I wasn't expecting that one, but I then took a cruise to Iceland. It was an Iceland cruise. 4
Nice.
stops. You're hoping on a cruise that you get 2 out of the 4 because usually the weather or something will cause it where you cannot go in.
Sure.
We made all 4 stops.
Nice.
We always had at least 12 hours, if not more. And what I would do is I would get off and there were waterfalls everywhere. And I don't buy excursions. So I'd get off and then one day I know I hiked 15 miles, which is a lot for a cruise. Like I got off and I just went. And I went to one thing, to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. It was unbelievable. It was amazing. One hike, one town, I saw a mountain. I'm like, I want to climb that. So I climbed it, came back, and everybody was locals and everybody was freaking out. There were like, you had ropes, it was really sketchy in some spots, but it was like, I just did that on a cruise. Like it was unbelievable. The hikes, I was not expecting that. I always have my trail runners with me.
Uh-huh.
I didn't have poles, I don't think, because I wasn't seeing the cruise as a hiking cruise. I book these things without thinking about them, but that was the hikingest cruise I've ever done. It was delightful.
That's awesome. I think Iceland is just so incredibly beautiful, and it's a fabulous place to visit.
Now, you heard about the volcano erupting recently.
Yeah, we were there actually when it was erupting. Yeah.
This year. So you know,
It would have been, it started July last year. Was it last year?
last year.
Yeah.
It erupted again, like it
Yes.
one, but and I don't remember what, oh no, I was on the cruise 4th of July. So around that time, that's when I was on it this year, around the 4th. I forgot that.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Got to see
it
a
was-
volcano.
Yes, it was pretty cool. It was so beautiful. The waterfalls were ridiculous. And then the elevation and the terrain and then seeing whales. And I was just like, are you kidding? Is this real? I'm going back to Iceland and I'm going to rent a van and I'm going to just do what you did, where you just do some hikes, but just have the freedom of driving. I had a friend who did this. And so I want to copy her and just travel around Iceland. Everybody was so kind, nice. It felt safe.
It
Back-
is. Yeah. I agree. I think
But I
it's completely safe.
Experienced
Yeah.
that. My gosh, that's incredible.
Very fun. Let's move on to rapid fire questions.
Okay, what does that
Okay.
mean? What do I do?
So it's just going to be light and fun.
Oh.
And I'm going to ask you a question and you're going to answer the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay,
Okay. All right. So coffee or tea on the trail?
neither.
Neither.
I do water and only water. I don't even do electrolytes. I do water.
Wow. Very cool. All right.
I
Good
don't carry
answer.
stove. I don't carry stove, so I don't do any. I never do coffee or tea.
Okay. What is your favorite trail snack that you never get tired of?
Oh, okay. I know it's supposed to be rapid fire. If it's a snack, I like my ginger chews.
Oh, yeah. I love ginger chews.
If it's a substance, like something of value, then it's a cucumber, but I only get it the first 2 days of my through hike until I resupply. And it's hard to get a cucumber after that. I love it. I crave it. Like I crave fruit and vegetables because a lot of my stuff is just protein. I don't want to do the bars and the man-made stuff. I like
What kind of protein do you do on the trail?
salami, cheese, on the AT, butter, like straight. I would eat straight butter. Pemmican,
Really?
an Indian or Native American thing. Tuna, spam, those things.
Do you put in wraps or just eat it straight up?
Just straight up. No
Just
carbs.
straight up.
I
So
don't,
would you consider yourself keto?
no, I don't want to
No.
be in ketosis. That's a good
Okay.
question. I want what I call real food.
Okay.
So that means I would prefer, I'm not going to name any brands, but there are bars out there that are so complicated. They've made them so engineered that I don't
Yes.
like them. Do I eat them sometimes? Absolutely. If you look at one of my videos, it'll show you some engineered stuff, especially more now than earlier when I was doing the AT. But on the AT, I can do freeze dried food that a friend of mine used to make it, and it was like an egg casserole and it was freeze dried, and I would just eat it like chips. Straight
Oh,
from-
yeah.
Oh my gosh, so good for me. And his machine died, and so I don't have that. But homemade beef jerky, you can't beat. But there's some things that are perishable, so I would eat when I start off my hike, I eat the perishable food first. Then I eat the heavy food, things that weigh a lot. So if I have heavy beef jerky and I have really dry beef jerky, I'm eating the heavy stuff first. So at the
That
very
makes
end,
sense.
so at the end of my hike, I'm left with pork rinds, mangoes that are dehydrated, freeze-dried stuff. All the light, fluffy stuff is at the end.
I like it. That's a good plan.
And I do bone broth. I don't know if you've seen those little tubes, but
Uh-huh.
I don't add washer. I do them like a pixie stick. And so I'll eat straight from the tube. And just when I'm hiking, I'll take it. And that's my electrolytes also. So it's not
Is that
just
a powder?
it's a powder. It's like
Oh,
a pixie
broth powder. Yeah.
protein.
Yeah.
So my it's a little unorthodox, but it's what I do for my food is very simple. And like I said, I've added a few new things that are not so good for me, like the mashed potatoes, but I've hit a stage where I don't care. But I didn't do mashed potatoes until a year ago.
Okay. Gotcha. Have you ever had the ramen bomb?
Nope, never did it.
No. So
'Cause
in
I don't do
Spanish,
the
do you know what
meals.
it is?
I do. Everyone did ramen bomb, and then they did weird, like you get a tortilla and they put like Snickers in it. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh, funny.
Yeah, so I do spam straight up,
Yeah.
tuna out of the little package. I
Yep.
try to not have a lot of mess. I don't carry a bowl. I've done hikes without a spoon or a fork because of the way I eat. As a matter of fact, the first day on the cruise a while ago, but the first day on a cruise, I was at dinner and I started eating with my fingers, and I'm like, oh my God, you're like feral. And I like had to go, okay, we know how to eat like a person. So I was in the woods for a while.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So why use your fingers? And that's horrified by people I know. But cheese is an amazing, hard cheeses last longer.
Do you do the Baby Bell ones with the rind, or is that too much waste?
Oh yeah, I love Baby Bells, but
Yeah.
I don't want the wax.
Yeah.
But people love them. And that's
Yes.
fine. That's too heavy for me. Like I would rather do a Tillamook little flat one with the little,
Oh, yeah.
or what do you call those? Cheese sticks?
I like
would
cheese sticks. Some people were doing, I haven't taken them yet, but I like them at home, is the little squared or triangles, the soft cheese.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the moo
Yeah,
cow.
the
whatever
moo
it's-
cow or whatever it's called. Yeah.
Again, that's messy sometimes, but those are so good. Like there's if you're in a place where it's not really hot out and it's not gonna blah, then those are absolute that would be okay. Oh, I'm just trying to think of something that, because I learned the hard way, what I could do in 20-degree weather, you cannot do it in 90-degree weather.
Ah,
Who's
chocolate.
like a pine bar, right, can be a disaster.
Yeah.
Like it made me not like them because they were so messy. That doesn't
Right.
mean I'm going to eat it some other time, but it was not good for my hike. Like I don't want any problems with animals, and not just bears, but like rodents. So I don't want any mess. I want everything to go into a Ziploc bag. My trash is compacted. Someone saw my trash after 2 weeks and it was this much. And they're like, how in the world? If you don't take those pre-made meals, then because those take up a lot of space.
They do. Yeah.
They're good, but they take up a lot of space. And some are better than others. There's a lot of I don't take electrolytes because I think if you eat those meals, you're getting enough salt.
Absolutely.
But some people, I watch
Yeah.
people, they literally had salt marks on their shorts
No,
because
really.
the body was trying to get rid of all this excess salt.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I don't do sugar. I don't do a lot of sugar on the trail because for me specifically, it's an inflammatory. So if you eat sugar, then my knees are going to hurt. My ankle's going to hurt.
Yep.
And it's addictive for me. And it weighs more because I eat more. When I eat sugar, then I have to eat more. And so if I do the beef jerky and the cheese and the spam, and I don't have to bring as much. Like it's phenomenal how little I have to eat when I eat the right stuff. But if I eat the wrong stuff, the stuff that tastes really good, like it makes me crave it, then it's gone. I have no self-control. And I just ate 5,000 calories and I needed one.
Yeah.
Because it tastes so good. It's so
Yeah, I totally get what you're talking about. It's that addictive cycle that you get into. And that's the way I am with cake. So I'm pretty adamant about not eating cake. I can eat the frosting. Believe it or not, I'm okay with eating the frosting. But as soon as I have that wheat and sugar combination, it sets off this addictive realm that makes me go crazy. And so it's better off for me if I just stay away from it. I say 100% of the time, but nobody's perfect. So I try to be 100% none of it. But
my rule is I won't buy that stuff.
Yeah.
If someone gives it to me as a gift or we're sharing it or whatever, it's in a hiker box. That is the rule that I've made for myself. I won't buy a Snickers bar, but if someone gives me a Snickers bar, I will eat it happily. But I know once I eat it, I swear I don't get hiker hunger, except for when I eat something like that. About 30 minutes after I eat something like
That sugar.
I am
Yeah.
hungry. Hungry. But if
Yeah.
I don't eat that junk, I'm never, people do not believe me, and I don't know how to prove it. I don't get hiker hunger. I didn't get it
Gotcha.
at all on the Appalachian Trail because my diet was dialed in on the trail.
Nice. Good
It
for
was so
you. So then that brings me to the next question.
Oh.
What's the first meal you crave when you get back from a trek? Is
So
there
my-
anything?
So my food on the trail is almost exactly my food in van life, which is almost exactly my food when I'm at my daughter's house. But I'll do it since I am at my daughter's. She just turned 25, and we have been cooking all the things that they had when they were in high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm going to say if I craved anything, but I have to cook it. You can't, the things that I crave, I don't go to restaurants. So I don't have restaurants that make me crave their food because
Sure.
I'm not tied to them. But a home cooked meal, calabacitas enchiladas. To make, it's the squash and zucchini with corn and then chicken and cheese. And oh my gosh, green chili. So I crave, if I answer that, it would be a home cooked hot meal. Cause that's the one thing I don't do a lot of when I'm even the van life. I have ways to cook things, but I am most of my things, I just do convenience because food is just fuel. That I've changed my thinking. It's not entertainment. It can be entertainment, but I try to stay in the space of food is fuel.
You absolutely. Next question. Mountains or coastlines? Which one calls you more?
Boy, I'm bad at this. I want my coastline with the mountains. So
Me too. Costa
California.
Rica or
and
California,
Oh my gosh. Even
Uh,
Iceland.
Iceland, and same with Vancouver Island.
Absolutely. I went there
Yes.
for the first time. Yes.
Oh, nice.
So I like both, but I don't like big cities. If you said big city versus, because there's some people who have to be in a big city. That's not me. I get overwhelmed with the sounds and the smells and the fast pace and I can go, but I want to leave as quickly. If I want to go to a Broadway show, I go, but I couldn't even stay in my van in the city in New York. I had to leave and go to Massachusetts because it was too much for me. It was
Sure.
just every parking and costs and smells. Yeah.
I understand. What's one piece of gear you'll never leave behind?
And that really, it's the water filter.
Yes.
It really is. That's the one thing you can send me off on a hike and say you're on your own for 5 days. I'll find food. And it depends if water was not a problem because it was Mount Charleston, then maybe, but it would probably be the water because I can make warmth. I can make if I have the right clothing on, but I can't make clean water without my filter unless you do the little droppy things and I don't do the tablets.
Gotcha. What's harder, saying yes to a new adventure or saying no when your body needs a rest?
Oh. So I don't ever feel like I don't get tired. I'm hyper right now and I don't drink coffee. I'm just like wired all the time. So I don't get tired, but saying yes, I say yes all the time. So the question was, what's harder, saying yes to a good adventure?
Or taking a rest?
Taking a rest, like a mandatory, you can't do anything rest. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that would be hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you could hike only one trail again, which would it be?
I'm going back to the Lost Coast Trail.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I was really caught up in, I don't know what you know about it.
I
it's
don't
not-
know anything about it. I want to know
Okay.
more about the
It's
Lost
in
Coast Trail.
California. But the reason it's called Lost Coast Trail is because you have to time it with the tide.
Okay.
It is on the coast the whole way. The whole way. And it's 40 miles. And you start at one point, usually on the north, and you go south because the wind, I guess, the wind's at your back. So it's more fun to go that way.
Sure.
There are some impassable zones. And I was all in my head about this. You can camp wherever you want. You don't have to really pick your campsites, which was nice. I like that. It's easy to get a shuttle to the top. So all the logistics, fine. But like I woke up early to get through this one impassable zone and the tide was coming in faster than I was expecting. So I had to turn around and go back. I was done hiking for the day at 8 a.m., 8:30.
Because of the tides.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I had to wait until the next morning because sometimes you have two tides, but there are
Yes.
times where you have a low tide that's not low enough. Like they tell you it's got to be below 3 feet or you cannot pass this.
Gotcha.
And that's not to say that there's not going to be what I don't know what they call it, a sneaker wave or a rogue wave. So you have to, there are a lot of things at play.
Yes.
But there were bears and there were bear prints on the beach, and then there were deer everywhere, and there were snakes, and you had the sea lions and the other big creek seals and lighthouse. It had everything in 40 miles.
Wow.
So I know some people, especially if they're new to this, they're going to think, oh my gosh, 40 miles is a lot. I promise you, if especially you're talking to women, they walk every day more than 8 miles a day. Just
Right.
being a mom, just being a wife, just being a working person. If they have a dog, they're walking 8 miles a day.
No, that's a very good point. I like how you relate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think people realize what they're capable of. This trail, other than the dealing with the tide, I want to go back again without being so freaked out about the tide. Now that I understand what they're saying, I could have, that day that I turned around, if I had gone 2 more miles, which I could have done before the tide came in, there was a campground, a beautiful campground that I could have stayed. Oh, and this trail had fresh water every 2 miles. So
Nice. Yeah.
they
Easy.
had everything.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And I love my day that I stopped at 8:30. I had the best campground, the deer, there were fish jumping out of the water, the whale went, it was like I'm hiking, like I forgot I was hiking. And there was nothing scary. There was no, other than the waves, there was no points where you're like, oh, if I fall, I'm going to get hurt.
Yeah.
So it was a lovely trail, and I'm going to go back.
Nice. Very cool. Who is your dream hiking partner, either past or present? Is there
Ooh.
anyone who you
No.
would love to hike with?
That catches me off guard. I would love, as much as I like to be solo, in my stage of my life, I've been divorced since 2013. I would love to find someone who could hike with me.
Ah,
Now, the dream would be that they're confident in their own ability, so they can go up without me and we catch up at the end of the day, or we stay side by side talking and having a good time. But if we need a quiet moment, they're not so sensitive that some people have to talk the whole time
uh-huh.
and they miss things because they're having fun talking, which is great. But I need someone who wants to be out in the woods as much as they want to be with a partner. Don't know if that's ever going to happen. So
It might. You never know.
never know.
Never know. Okay, one more. So would you have more shoes or more stamps in your passport?
Oh, ooh, we just talked about shoes. That's funny. More stamps. I am
More
all about
stamps?
traveling the world.
Yeah.
I like hiking, but traveling the world. And they're not doing stamps all the time now.
No, I know.
That's upsetting. So yes, traveling is
Traveling.
especially now where I am in my life. I like the fact that I can, since you just recently traveled and whatnot, what I have come to realize, and this is for all the ladies who want to hike and they're going to get in shape by hiking, man, when you travel internationally, holy smokes, between standing in line for the airport, getting your luggage, getting to some of these places in other countries, you might carry your luggage up 2, 3 flights of stairs. There's no elevator.
That's right. Yeah.
Like the physical demands on your body to travel internationally, your hiking will help get you to be safe. I'm always fascinated when I'm carrying 2 suitcases up 4 flights of stairs, which I had to do just recently. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm glad I can do this. Because if I was 85 years old and all I did was sit around and eat bonbons, I would not physically be able to go up that flight of stairs.
Exactly right.
Would you say 60? How old was your person? The top age?
My oldest lady on the hike was 68.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect example.
She's in great shape.
She can go internationally and she might still have to be careful like I had to, but she can do anything she wants to do if she wants to do it, walking around the castle, whatever the desire is. And it's not that I want to walk around the castle. I want to be able to walk around the castle.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it seems like you're blessed with good health. And
Yes.
I love that you've been able to make the correlation between your joint health and the sugar,
Oh,
because that's such a big thing. So many people are in pain, they're in joint pain, and it could be something as simple as getting rid of the sugar.
This is a true story. I was on the Appalachian Trail. I hurt my hip. I don't know what happened, but it was bad. And I was feeling sorry for myself. And so I stopped at this place. It was in Delaware. I can see it. And I'm in this little place and I'm eating ice cream because I hurt. And I have ice
Uh-huh.
in my, I'm in pain. And I'm eating my ice cream. And out of the blue, some dude comes up. He happens to be a doctor. And he was like, you know, that ice cream's not going to help you. And I'm like, yes, it is. And he's like, no, I don't want to be a bear. And I did not ask him. Like, but I was looking pretty pathetic. And I already knew that about the sugar, but for him to tell me only from a doctor that I didn't even ask, I'm like, oh my gosh, like it was a sign.
It
So
was a sign.
I ate all my ice cream. And then after that, I was so sad. But a good example was one time I messed up on the AT and I tried to meet up with some people, miscommunication. Long story short is I had a hurt knee. I fell and hurt it, but it was hurting me for 2 days. I get to this camp that I set up my tent. I never saw my people that I was supposed to see, but the problem is I ran out of food because I changed my schedule. If I'd kept hiking and not tried to go off the trail to find them, I would have made it to a resupply, but I didn't do that. So I went to bed having not eaten since noon. Again, no big deal. I wasn't going to die, but I went to bed with a sore knee, no food since noon. I woke up the next morning and someone told me this happened, but I had not experienced it. By not eating, the energy from digesting food and everything, all that energy went to my knee. It could have been a coincidence. All I know is I woke up the next morning and I'm like, huh, it's better. But I thought you put your backpack on. My knee was healed.
Isn't that interesting?
And the thinking, a few people have told me this, it has to do with the energy. If you're eating all the time,
Then your body's always digesting.
right?
Yep.
And it comes down to the fasting and some other things. But
Sure.
I was forced into this because I didn't have any food. And I lived. That's what's so funny. You have to get out of your head going, oh my gosh, I haven't eaten since noon. I'm going to die. No, every single person, most of us, unless you're truly malnourished, we have reserves in us for that specific situation. Except
Agreed. Yes.
hike out and you'd be going and running after some animal to hunt food. We are designed to survive. And so you have to get out of your head that, oh my gosh, I'm going to pass out if I don't get food by 8 a.m. It's a
Yeah.
mental. Our bodies are phenomenal. But again, I'm not talking about someone who hasn't eaten for 5 days. I'm talking about someone who's been eating up to a few hours, because I believed a long time ago that I had to eat every 2 hours. So I trained my body to want food
Every 2 hours.
hours.
Like
it was
grazing. Don't they call that grazing? Some people are grazers. Yeah.
And my body trained to do that. But man, 3 hours later, I felt like I had the shakes and like they said I was mildly hypoglycemic and blah, blah, blah. Then I changed my diet and I start fasting. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't eaten for 3 days and I feel like a rock star. My brain was clear. And so same body, different expectations, different training. And I guess maybe that's an advice to some people is you decide what you want it to be. You decide if you want to eat every 2 days or 2 hours, then eat every 2 hours. But if you're trying to drink less water, and what I mean by that is carry less water, not really drink less water, but carry less water, then learn how to camel up, learn how to pace yourself.
Pre-hydrate even.
Absolutely. Pre-hydrate. Don't drink a lot of caffeine. Don't do a lot of sugar because all those things suck you out and they make you want to drink more water. Try to find things. I guess what I'm saying is if you feel like water is your concern, then find a way to let water not control you. If food is your problem, and that's a more sensitive one for some people, then find a way to control what you eat. If you find yourself like I was, where I literally was shaking, I was carb loading before I start my hike and I would do all this stuff. And I walk with people in Vegas where they do the same thing. They're going on a 2-hour hike and they eat before they go, they eat halfway up, they eat at the top, and then they eat in the car, and then they go out to eat afterwards.
Wow.
I'm like, oh my gosh,
That's a lot of food.
it's a lot of food. And it's funny because I started doing that too. It's social. I'm like, why are you would go 5 hours on a hike with a heavy pack and eat once? Like, why are you eating? It's a crazy what we do socially. And it's not to say that's not fun. When you go on a hike and someone brings snacks for everyone, that's fun. But sometimes I eat like I'm never going to have food tomorrow. And I'm like, what is my problem? I eat the whole thing. I've never had food before in my life when I'm never going to have food again. And so I have to, there's a constant battle that I have is food, making sure when I did that 2 week hike where I carried everything I needed, I was so disciplined because as much as I wanted my pack to be lighter, I had to stretch that food out for 2 weeks.
That's a lot of food for 2 weeks, or
That's
a lot of, it can be a lot of food for 2 weeks. Yeah.
I tell people I ate 10 days worth of food over 14 days.
There you go.
Because I had about 10 days worth of food, but I stretched it out to 14 days. It affected my mood. But I was fine the first few days. You know how you go on a hike the first day, you don't even want food?
Yeah.
That's because we have so much stuff inside us that's made that moment. I tell people embrace that. They're like, no, I have to eat. No, you don't. You don't have to eat. If your body says, I'm not hungry, honor that. But we have convinced ourselves we have to have breakfast, we have to have lunch, we have to have snacks, if people can step away from that, my daughter is so good at listening to her body. Like she just is she always has been. Where if I was eating pizza a long time ago and I was getting full, I'd eat faster. Because I'm like, I got to get that in.
Because you want more pizza.
So I heard my body, but I wasn't listening to it. And so people eat things and they're like, oh my gosh, I feel miserable. You can choose to be miserable, but I would propose don't take a Tums or a Pepto-Bismol. I would propose either suck it up or you might want to not eat that, whatever it is that made you upset, whatever that is. Because here's the deal. My sister can't eat tomatoes. I can. It doesn't mean tomatoes are bad. It just means they're not good for her.
Exactly.
So I think that would, if I had to because this is the thing about a podcast is you have so many different people that are listening from so many different stages of life. And I think my thing would be is everything we've said, we just want you to hear us, but experiment. You might, like I don't typically eat until 9 a.m., but it took me a while to get to that point. But it may not work for you. That just happened to work for my way of life. 9 worked for me. It didn't work for me when I had kids and a family.
You had to rush off and get off to whatever you had to do.
When you're feeding someone, I can get away with not eating after 3. But if I'm in a relationship, I'm eating at 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Because that's whatever it is, the family time, the social time, the whatever it is.
So we're not giving anyone this exact way of doing things, but if we've said something like, oh my gosh, my knees hurt, and I'm always eating a Snickers bar before I hike.
Try it. Yeah.
If you don't eat meat, when you can do dairy, then just try some cheese. For some people, that can be an inflammatory. I did a test with someone. It was a class that I went to. We were all sitting down, and we were all fasting. And then the guy brought out a plate of cheese, and we were monitoring our heart rate.
I've done that.
There were people who looked at the cheese. They didn't even eat it.
And their heart rate went up?
Yes.
Yeah.
So again, I'm going back to listen to your body. I always tell people, if you're thriving, if you're eating jelly beans and that's the only thing you eat for your life, but you're thriving, your skin is clear, your mind is clear, your weight's controlled, you have energy, you can sleep well at night, you don't have mood swings. If you can live off of jelly beans, hats off to you. I can't. That would affect me in a negative way after a while. But the key is listen to your body. Your body will tell you and really listen to it. I think if we could empower women, just because you see someone else eating something or doing something, if it doesn't work for you, it's okay. Find what works for you.
And keep on looking until you find it.
Yes. And you'll know when it's right. Because you're going to know, like, whatever you're looking for. If you don't mind carrying a lot of weight, then why would you take freeze-dried food? Take real food. But if weight is a problem and you can't do these hikes because your pack is too heavy, maybe you can gravitate towards hypothetically freeze-dried food. We're all
Or
good.
just lighter weight options.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you just be flexible, find what you think makes sense, try it. And if it doesn't, I love your short hike, the 30-minute, go out, come back, you've got one. They will learn something on that hike.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what I said at the beginning. That's how I learned the trailheads is getting myself comfortable, getting out and learning. Just do that 20, 30 minutes, turn around and come back. It doesn't have to be far, but at least you got yourself to the trailhead. You got yourself out of the car.
Yeah.
You got yourself down the trail, and then
Yes.
you got yourself back safely. That's a
It's-
win.
It's a win.
It's a win. And then before you know it, you're going to be hiking the Wonderland Trail or wherever you want.
Wherever you're called to go.
Yeah.
I do it based on invites as well as when you hike with other people, they'll talk about a hike.
Uh-huh.
If I get told about a certain hike 3 or 4 times, I take that as a sign. Like the Camino, everywhere I went, people were talking about the Camino. I'm like, okay, I clearly am supposed to do the Camino. Same with the Wonderland Trail. When I'm bombarded by, it's just weird. It just comes up in conversation from different people. Then I write it down. Then I research. I always type in, this is my research. When is the best month to hike? Blah, blah, blah. And they'll tell you shoulder seasons. They'll tell you the prime time. They'll say why. On the internet, we're so blessed. We have all these options, but it'll tell me when. Then I can decide, okay, do I want to go when everyone's there? Do I want to go when there might be some snow? Do I want to go when they might have monsoon rains? Whatever the case may be. I can make my choice, but that's how I start. And then I write it down. So even if it's a hike that I can't do this year, I write it down with the month. So then next year, where am I going to be? What should I do? I can go, oh, here are the hikes that are the best at this time of the year.
At this time of month. Yeah. Or at this time of year. That's perfect.
Yeah. So it's not really called planning, but it's at the same time, it's trying to be safe, but also then I can coordinate where I am in the world. If I want to do it, I can be in that area
at that time to be able to do it. Yeah. 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 That's so great. Thank you so much, Kim. I appreciate you. Is there anything else that you want to add before we sign off for today?
No, I love what you're doing. I love what your mission is. I think you're already making a difference because you just did a hike hut to hut with a wide range of ladies.
We did. Yes. Yes.
And I think that is the community that for women that works. I think it's good to have people from all over, different ages. That sounds like a fantastic hike. But
you should do it. It's so much fun. So much fun. And I think anybody can arrange it, right? You just have to call the hut people, you book your spots. The shuttle service is part of the deal. They'll take you up, drop you off at the trailhead, and then you go do it.
Yeah, I love it. And see, this is what I call planting the seed. Like you've planted that seed now. So I promise you, I'm going to talk to someone else in a few days and they're going to mention hut to hut. And then I'm going to look at an old email from a Mountaineers Club that I was in where they did the hut to hut. And all of a sudden, I go, okay,
I got to go do the hut to hut now.
It can happen. I have 2 weeks before my cruise. And so that's a long time.
You could do it.
So I just have to get some stuff done first. But I just thank you because I know I get a little hyper and a little excited, but you managed it quite well. And I do appreciate the opportunity to talk and answer questions because if I had a mission, and that's why I do my TikToks, is I want to plant the seed. I want people to see what's out there. I want them to believe that they can do it. And I want them to start small. You said that first. You said it before I did, but start small. You don't have to do a big hike to prove anything. Just
exactly.
Literally walk the dog and walk every night after you eat. I think I'm a passionate person about that. Eat and then walk. But then just start adding to it. If you don't feel comfortable, bring a friend with you for whatever reason. Bring a friend with you. I do find that when I'm hiking with someone, if there is a pain, I don't feel it as much when I'm talking to someone for whatever psychological reason. I'm just not focused on the pain.
Right. It's part of the distraction.
It really is. And so that's okay getting started because your legs are going to be tired. The pack might be heavy.
But once you start moving, you start feeling better.
And then I think my last words of wisdom would be, these are so weird, but cut your toenails, especially because you need to get those toenails as short as possible. Someone told me not to cut them the night before, but if you're doing a through hike, that's not an option because you're hiking every day. So
Right.
to me, keep your toenails trimmed. I think that's important. I do believe in the wide toe box. So keep your feet healthy. I think your feet
Yes.
are very important.
Yeah.
And
Wide
then-
toe box is really important.
It really is.
Absolutely. Mhm.
Especially I think as we age. And then just, I guess I love the saying, never quit on a bad day. Not every hike is going to be perfect. And so you have a little more control if it's a day hike. But even if it's not what you were hoping for, don't give up. Either do that one again on a different day or find a different hike that maybe you need wildflowers, maybe you need more animal sightings, maybe you need water. Find whatever. When you find a hike that you really like, especially in the beginning, do more of that. Because at some point, if you really get into hiking, you might have the days where you're hiking, you're like, this is not fun, but I just got to get to this next point. That's going to happen.
It does happen, just like
Right.
in any kind of life.
Work, whatever, relationships, whatever. You got to power through some of those, but you want to start off, I think, have the right equipment. We didn't really talk about this, but you don't have to spend a lot of money.
No,
Okay.
you don't.
There's certain, either you pick the hike that matches your clothing or you borrow something. My daughter's going to use some stuff this weekend to see if she likes it.
Good.
Then if you like it, you can buy it. And then I like to buy from REI just because of their return policy. I've bought things that did not live up to what I was expecting. It's so nice to be able to return it. Yes, some things cost more, but the freedom, the stress off of me to know that I thought these poles were going to be great and they weren't, not to be stuck with them, to be able to return them and get something that did fit was, if you're frugal on your money, yes, and you're going to spend a lot of money, you don't want to be stuck with something that you don't like. And when you're
Oh,
new,
I totally get it. I
you know,
totally get it.
you don't know if you don't like it.
Yeah. I had a
Right.
pair of hiking boots that I got from REI that, and I don't want to say the brand name, but
Sure.
I had switched. I thought they were going to be a better boot.
Yep.
I was convinced these were the right boots for me. I tried them on in the store, tried on 2 or 3 different brands. I tried that pair. I wore them for almost a year.
Oh, wow.
Almost a year I wore them. And there was one hike. I was actually at Kilimanjaro my second time. And I was coming down the mountain and it was just rubbing my ankle on the tendon and it was strumming it like a guitar. And oh my gosh, it was like I had to go down the mountain like pigeon-toed or
Yes,
something.
yes.
And it
Oh,
was
that's
crazy.
wonderful.
And when I got back, that's it. I just can't do these anymore. And so
And
I
for
took them
you-
back to REI and they took them back. It's great.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
But- so here's the thing, your foot could have changed in
Yes.
1 year.
Yeah.
And that boot was no longer, it's not the boot, but you know, that your body is no longer accepting that shoe. So it was nice that you could be able to get something new.
Yeah.
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 And again, this all comes back, I think, to safety and listening to your body instead of going, oh my gosh, I already bought this and I paid this much money and I'm just gonna keep using them. No.
You gotta nip it in the bud, right? Just like a hot spot, developing a blister. You got to take care of it right away.
It's so much easier to do it right away because
Yeah.
you really can't hurt yourself.
Absolutely.
You can make some serious, we talked about injuries, but I think a sprained ankle is a quick injury. It's the plantar fasciitis, shin splints. Those are the things the spurs, those are the things you got to watch out for. Sciatica, the pinched nerve, those are the things that'll bring you down. So like you gave that example of it strumming. That
Yes.
was a repetitive. That's where you're going to get a real injury. Not
Absolutely.
okay. So we're on the same page.
We are on the same page.
Yeah.
You got to take care of it right away. It's almost like a bad relationship. You got to nip it in the bud.
It's true. No, it's true. It's true because it's not going to get better.
Yeah. Perfect.
Well, I'm
With
glad-
that-
I look forward to listening to some of your podcasts because I appreciate what your mission is. And I think I don't know your reach. I don't know how long you've been doing this, but I think it doesn't really matter if you help, in my opinion, you help one person, you did it, right? If one
Right.
person hears something and they're like, oh my gosh, never thought about the sugar. If that one person changes and they have a better hike and they're no pain, you got to sleep better at night.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So-
I'm trying to reach as many people as I can.
Kim, thank you so much for joining me today. Your stories and your adventures and the way you follow the wind with such courage and creativity are truly inspiring. I know our listeners will walk away with a fresh sense of freedom and curiosity for their own journeys. I'm grateful you took the time to share your heart and your trail with us. Until next time, happy trails, and we'll see you out there.